if I remember correctly, before the match, one of the things you said was you were keen to see yourself against someone like Serena and it's your level. How did you feel out there?
I feel like I didn't play well today. It's unfortunate to not feel like you gave yourself the best chance. At the same time, I feel like she played really, really well, and she definitely deserved to win today.
You played her a couple times before, even just judging even by Serena standards. How would you say she's playing right now? Because the first two matches have looked pretty convincing from her.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's playing really, really well. She has to be, the favorite to win this tournament. It was tough to play against her. I always felt rushed, a bit on the back foot. She just has so much power, so it was tough.
Yeah, Jean, once you got into rallies, I thought you were playing pretty good. She just seemed like her return game was crazy and just right at you. She was coming right at you with it. How does anybody respond to that kind of a game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of her strengths. I think I served very poorly, especially in the first set. So that's disappointing, considering I have been feeling good with that part of my game. But, obviously her putting pressure on my serve, I think, also leads to that. And sometimes I would hit even good first serves, and it was, right at my feet at the baseline. And that's what she does well, So yeah, I mean, I tried to do what I could, and even then, I did have some chances here and there, and a couple points here and there, and I feel like on return games, I was returning well, but even then, she could serve amazing to get herself out of trouble. So, I mean, obviously, that's what great players do.
Jane, can you look back at the last 2 or 3 weeks and divorce the results from kind of the level that you've been able to start the season with and the progress that you've made, and kind of evaluate that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, this trip, I guess you could say, has definitely been, I'd say, more successful than not. I've been playing lots of matches, feeling good generally in those matches. So just building blocks, I mean, it just shows me what I need to work on. And yeah, I mean, sucked having to play her in the second round.
Had you been able to call Michael on court, what do you think he would have told you?
He actually told me exactly what he would have told me 10 minutes ago. He said that I should have gone for my serve more, that I was a bit tentative on it, to go for it, even if I missed some, down 3-0 to get the rhythm back, and obviously against other kinds of players, maybe I could have gotten my rhythm back more naturally, but against someone like that, it's when she's blasting returns, it's almost intimidating. So it's hard to kind of change the course, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's one of the things he said.
Ginny, as Serena said on court, she said that you have been at this level before and even better, and been in finals and slams and that kind of stuff. But for you, is it because of you haven't played these kind of matches a lot recently? Does it feel different when you're on that court against Serena and the stakes are high? Does it feel as if it's new to you, or are you able to draw back on previous experience?
A little bit of both, but definitely, being on a big stage, night match against a big opponent I haven't played some of those matches in a long time. And that's something I said to my coach after, I felt maybe a little bit overwhelmed by the moment. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of distractions on the court. It's a huge court. So hopefully I can, get myself in a position to play more of these matches and get back that feeling of feeling comfortable out there. Yeah.
On the coaching thing, after the U.S. Open final, there was some debate again about if mid-match coaching should be allowed, I guess, at all events and on court, or even just from the stands or something like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the ideal coaching during a match should be from the stands on the side of the court when players, walk to the back and the coach can kind of talk to us. We did that in qualies. I remember I did that at the U.S. Open. And so I think maybe coming on court with the mic is a bit overkill, especially when your coach drops F-bombs. But I think it's more natural that way, and it's something you see more in other sports where the coach just kind of yells to the player from the side. All the other sports do that basically. So I think, and that doesn't disturb play as much.
A few other sports listen into every word, like I guess on-court WTA coaching does.
Exactly. At the same time, it's a coach can just kind of talk to a player from the side without it being like this kind of spectacle.
So what's next for you? I mean, your ranking now is back to a level where probably makes you feel a bit more comfortable about the planning, about knowing what draws you can get into or not. So what's your schedule looks like? What does your schedule look like for the next 2 months?
Well, immediately I'm signed up for Newport Beach. I haven't spoken to my team yet if we're going to do that or not. If I will, I guess I'm flying out tomorrow morning. So maybe, probably. I mean, I feel good. I want to play. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I want to get my ranking better, and it would be nice to be seeded, to not play seeds so early in Grand Slams.
Any further questions?
Do you feel close to getting? I mean, seeding ranking obviously there's still a big gap, but do you feel like your form is close to a seeding type level of play that you're delivering now?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've played really solid tennis recently, and my ranking has improved, but I feel like I'm playing better than what my ranking is right now. So, I just got to keep, working on my game, and if that's the case, then it'll get there, It's the beginning of the year, so long year ahead.
One more thing. Gina, you've had some tough draws in the last 12 months or so. I mean, is it still a little bit when the draw comes out, you're like, oh, come on, or is it? Have you kind of been able to put aside and be like, well, this is just what happens when my ranking is where it is?
Yeah, it's funny. I complained to my mom that I had to play Serena second round, and she was like, actually, I feel like you've had good draws considering you haven't been seeded. You've never played a seed first round almost at slams. You've had decent kind of draws since you haven't been seeded in these tournaments. She always puts me back in my place, but yeah, I mean, you can't complain, and it is what it is. So it's just motivation, to get back there.